The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
A friend of mine from London who got fired from his job. He was randomly called in, fired on the spot from a finance firm. And you know how it is when they fire you in finance. They escort you to your desk and give you 2 minutes to put your stuff in a box and drop you unceremoniously outside of the building. Fired, just like that. Anyway, he's begging them. Please, you got to tell me. If you tell me why, I'll go. But why in the world? Why did I get fired? I'm here every morning early. I stay late. I do everything. I work my tail off for the company. I don't know how, but he managed to get a meeting. He managed to get a meeting with the boss. He walks into the room and the boss says to him, "You want to know why we're firing you? Really? Like you don't already know?" He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He says, "Every day we've been watching you. And we know that you're giving away company secrets." He says, "What? What? You think I'm a mole for the competitor? Why would you think that?" They said, "We noticed that every day at lunch, you leave the office, you go down to the street, you go into one of those red phone booths in London, and you're sitting there on the phone. Exactly the same thing every day. Must be that you had that was going out, so I'm embarrassed to pray in the office." So he went to the red phone booth, pretended he was making a phone call, and he would pray mincha in the red phone booth. And they thought that his mincha was giving secrets away to the competitor. So they unceremoniously fired him on the spot. He explained, he begged, he pleaded, he told them, "Look, I'll show you. You'll see, I have my phone in my hand. I'll show you my phone records." There's not even a phone call that I'm making. After explaining it, he decided they launched the minyan in the office. From then on, and they started a minyan which operated for years from that story. And I remember thinking when he told me this story, something really, really interesting. You know, Hashem acts in the most wonderful and mysterious of ways. Here's a guy who's struggling to pray mincha in a red phone booth. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to give him that thing that he wants so desperately, but he wants to give it to him in the right way. So what does he do? He sets up this whole ridiculous thought process, this whole crazy firing scenario, so that ultimately there would be a set minyan every single day, very actually, proudly Jewish in the office. Sometimes a person does something exactly the same way, day after day, in a little space, without the proper presentation, it starts to lack its flavor. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu guided him to a much more beautiful and a much more heartfelt opportunity. From mincha in the office, it grew to classes in the office. From the classes, 1 day a week to many days a week. I actually went and gave that shiur numerous times in the office. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should bless us all, that we should always feel the ability to be able to connect to Hashem, to come with that feeling, the Shem Yichud Kudsha B'Richu, what am I doing now? I'm not filling or ticking a box. I'm coming to do something that I have to do every day, without any answers, without any chokhmah. Not to change, but at the same time, not to stay the same, to do it with the excitement and that vigor. When God sees us doing mitzvot that way, He blesses us with the most beautiful blessings.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org